Great, folks. Welcome back, and we've walked one leg of the journey, making approximately a minute after the hour 9, remaining 1. And of course, my guest joins me now. Afi yebehwe pool no. Me pachu poli yediane se yebehwem ni ahwe. Party ben ena sa abusumi we yebeto aba obetimi edi nkonim no. Enema asem ni yebekan. Of course, this edition we speak to the Executive Director, Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, and the July polls near Munsem said ye AC etie. Musa, Mwakwaba. BBI at the D. Good. Okay, now, Mumayan, the poll on the screen near cover no etie and all of that. But Isa, Ebria Yekase. And then more questions, but do you know, sir, some political machinery ni be brave. So, and I say political organization ni be so. Woman or shada nyadwene say all the time they are criticizing the Global Info Analytics. I don't know whether to say they think some way bias and some. Is it because also the polls doesn't reflect the outcome of which they wish for? And I said, have you heard of some of these criticisms?
Yes, I think I've heard a lot of that. If you look at our history in polling since 2019,
good.
I think we've done quite well. All our polls have come to pass within the margin of error. But as expected, you know, even in America, some polls are so it's not unusual for political parties who don't see the poll in their favor to criticize you and to critique you. But I think behind the scene, we know, say, they are working with it.
Yeah.
So, but it's expected. It's expected. But once we are doing it correctly, deploying the right methodology, right approach, and being honest and sincere with the facts and data, I think we are comfortable.
I see. Good one. Now, let's go straight. Now, we have your cover on the screens. National Opinion Poll 2024 General Elections, 2nd July 2024 Governance General Elections, and then the Situation Room, right? Channel 1. Now, poll was in the month of
July.
Yes. So this very month here,
yes.
Great. So folks, we are right on point to discuss details of this very Now, first of all, walk us through the methodology, how we secure all the outcomes, and then we gravitate towards that. Before then, we nail who is making it to the Jubilee House if held this month.
You know, opinion poll has to be done in a certain way.
Good.
For it to be scientific. The most important thing is determining the sample size. And then you also determine the confidence level you want to have or you want to place on the numbers that you want to churn out. And also your margin of error.
Yeah.
Now, to determine the sample size, also share in Ghana, which at the moment is roughly, let's say, 18.5 million.
Okay.
So you use that as a basis to determine how many people should you interview. If you want to have a margin of error of, say, 1.5% and a confidence level of 99%.
Yeah.
So you just can't get up and say, me interview Nipa 100 and not 200. No, it is done through a mathematical formula.
Okay.
So anybody, because we sample size in correct, I think say the person doesn't understand polling or statistics. So that's how we go about it.
Yeah.
But Yenya decided in terms of the sample size, where do you deploy the sample?
Good.
It's also very important because for 10,000, you know what you will get. So the sample must represent the way you deploy the sample must represent how people are registered to vote in the country. So Accra normally more, followed by the Ashanti region, and then you have the Eastern region, Central region, Western region, Northern region, voter region, and so on and so forth. So the sample is shared across the regions based on the weight of that region in terms of voting population.
I see.
In the country.
Okay. Now, this one, we have about 7,933 voters were interviewed, and 7,398 answered all the questions, representing 93%. Give us a clarity to this.
So, now near amount for a casa, he will answer all the questions. A bedroom at one of my brain, no jai no call, but it doesn't invalidate the views now. What catch before he tells you say, or brain or kono. So what we are showing here is we are showing those who actually engaged us, and then those who actually answered the end-to-end question. Where you can see, say, okay, nipa be 7,300 answer all the questions. But their views are also valid as far as those questions are concerned.
And then your poll says, we use 2020 when a voter register number
as a sample frame.
As a sample frame.
Which means that because we don't have 2024 register, so how many people in Ashanti region in Greater Accra is based on how many they were in 2020. And it won't change that much even with the new registration. It will not change the positions of the regions in terms of how important they are.
Good. Now, it's a walk us through from where to where, and in terms of percentage scoring and all of that, all the way to the end. Now your poll reflects, say, this is the outcome of it.
Okay, I think we normally start with what we call the demographics in terms of the people we engage. And for this particular occasion, I would rather choose the political party affiliation.
Good one.
Because I don't know the outcome of the poll, and matching. So we share.
First of all, quick, did you do it region by region?
If I by
16 regional capitals
in 111 constituencies.
Okay. So give us a breakdown.
Now, if you look at the people we interviewed, every time I interview we show the party affiliation. Nipa, I think, no say NDC for how many are NDC and how many are MPP, how many are floating voters, how many refuse to tell us which party they support, and how many support the smaller parties. Over the last almost 2.5 years, every time they could be a baby party, and we have used that to calculate what we call the 90 days or 3 months moving average. At the moment, MPP for or more Ghana openly 30.
Guys, MCR, come to the party affiliations 90 days moving average. Focus on that one. Don't move faster because Isa is walking us through gradually. We have all the time to do. And say, come back. Now, Mumbai, focus. Stay on party affiliations and all that. Nefi, you need Isa move step by step.
Let me get the right version I sent because I'm looking at now may not be. Let me just check that.
And Mr. Monya Sana Isa and walking through step by step because that's what Isa Ede my and see any flow the same as good one. And that page is
July. Okay.
So July report.
Okay.
Yeah. And see, Isa is going to walk us through.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And see, come to party affiliations, 3 months moving average. Right? Come to that one there quickly.
Share.
Party affiliations, 3 months moving average.
At the moment.
Let's focus on this one.
At the moment, MPP at 31.9%. Those who openly say they are MPP.
Oh, I see. Out there.
Yes. Okay. Openly say I am MPP or I'm MPP sympathizer.
Okay.
When your card when your Ghanaians are almost say I normally vote for MPP.
Okay. This very elections we one met to happen so at the same time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's 31.9%. Almost see NDC openly 31.8%.
Really?
Very close.
Very close, eh?
Yes. And then almost see voters 17.7%. Floating voters. And Obama say support smaller parties on 2.6%. And then you have another 16.1.
Okay.
Almost a party with maybe but uncultural.
I see.
Not disclosing or undisclosed party affiliates. Almost behave in a certain way.
So
yes, Obia or the way I behave, we come to understand that.
Okay.
Now, share over amount to Abada first time voters no. And MPP 37%.
Omomonto.
For the first time, I'm going
First time I'm Aba.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
MPP 37%.
Really?
And this year 36%.
No, NPP is saying
37%.
37%. And NDCC is 36%.
1%
I say
difference.
1% difference.
Yes. So there's no much gap between NDC and MPP among those who
very close.
Openly say me party week and I'm metatuma.
I see.
And then about 14% say me a floating vote. And 3% say almost support smaller parties. And then another 10% say omunim someone can't read. But here about two about the Bianoa, a hono MPP 33%. NDC 29%.
I see.
And 18% here floating voters.
Okay.
And 15% say omunim someone can't read.
Good. Okay.
So basically party affiliations, these are the kind of numbers we are seeing.
Wow.
Now there are certain questions that really determine who is going to win the election. Before you even ask them who would you vote for, there are certain key questions you must watch in every polling. And these are the people, voters who express their views about where they think the country is going or headed.
Oh, okay.
See, we ask them, in your view,
yes,
do you believe that, or generally, do you believe that Ghana is going headed in the right direction or wrong direction? And you don't have opinion. In the current poll, July, 63% say Ghana is headed in the wrong direction.
Really? 60 is very significant, isn't it? Yeah. Believe that Ghana is heading towards wrong direction. I see.
And 27 say a right direction.
I see.
And then 10% say they have no opinion. So here, most Ghanaians
are very apprehensive of what's happening.
Saying where we are headed is wrong direction. Now, we have kept this data over a period of almost 2.5 years. So we know where the people were before. Last year, January, 71% of Ghanaians were saying, wrong direction.
Last year, January?
Last year, January, yes.
Oh, okay.
I drop about 63%. So just about 8% or so drop.
Okay.
In more than a year.
Perhaps that 8% their lives have been improved.
Yes, you can see some small changes there about.
Okay.
And only 27% are saying, right direction. So those who are saying, is quite high. Those who don't believe that we are in the right place is very high. Then the next question now, you have to look at it, is also what we call the President's Job Approval. When the President's Job Approval, how do the citizens see the performance of the President? So if they rate him very higher, it improves the chances of the ruling government to retain power.
Say that again.
If the citizens approve of the way the head of state or the president is doing his job, it tends to translate into positive vote for the ruling party. Because among for Philly say, my penny or born homoding.
That's right.
So born homoding there, then whoever is coming to take off from him, gets the dividend of that performance. At the moment, if you start Ghana for say, how do you rate his performance? Omama say approve or managing 35%.
Really?
Yes. Omama say they don't approve the way he's doing his job. 60%.
60%?
Yes.
Very high.
It moves in the same direction as the direction of the country. The wrong direction they call up. Disapproval also call up.
I see.
When right direction go up, his approval goes up.
Great. But does the poll capture the circumstances such as this president, for example, Akufo-Addo, is not coming back? So that disapproval, how does that score into the predecessor to rate the predecessor?
That's what I'm saying. No, it's not about rating the predecessor. What I'm saying is that if people rate him very positively, it tends to reflect on his party's chances.
Okay, his party's chances.
And
it doesn't matter who is there.
Exactly, and to an extension, the person who's now leading the party.
That's right.
So this data is quite important.
I see.
And then the last thing we also took very keen note in knowing is people's standard of living.
Standard of living. Sure.
So it be say, We asked them, in the last 12 months,
Yeah.
would you say your living standards has improved, or it's gotten worse, or it's unchanged, or you have no opinion? Because so Obetuaba, it depends on how he feels about his life. Has it gotten better?
Better.
Has it gotten worse, or is the same, or he can't even tell? These are the things that drive voters' behavior.
Standard of living.
Yes, as them design.
Yes.
That's basically what the tree version of it. And when we asked them in the July poll, 21% said that their living standards has improved.
I see. The month of July.
Yes, compared to a year before, no, the thing say it has improved 21%.
I see.
47% say it has gotten worse.
47%
say it's gotten worse. So for them, no, in the last 12 months, it has gotten worse for them. And then those who said it is unchanged, 27%. So basically, unchanged 27 and 47.
The margins are
it's quite big.
Very big.
It's quite big, and this boils down to the economy of the individuals, how they feel about their own economy.
Yeah.
So, Oshe, when you look at this data from 2023 January, those who said worsen was 56% last time in January. Now it's only down to 47%. So you can see it's come down barely, I think 9%.
That's right.
In more than 18 months. So things are not improving as fast as they should.
Rapid as expected.
Exactly. So, and if things are not improving as fast as they should, and you're heading towards election, this could be deadly combination.
5 more months to go to the poll.
Exactly. So these are the things that are driving voters' behavior. Now, we did also ask them about corruption. What is their view about corruption? Is it improving? Is it getting worse? Is it the same? Or no? In fact, it's behaved the same way as standard of living.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
State of corruption, no?
For the 7 say it's getting yes, it's getting worse.
Figures in zero.
So 47, 27, I think 21, and then 5%. I was shocking. Yes.
It's more still up there, high. Okay.
And then, as we're heading towards election, we asked them about their confidence in the police service.
The security service, police.
How confident are you that the police will do a good job in managing the elections? Oshek, those who said confident are 58%.
58%
have confidence in the police.
I see.
And then 33% have no confidence. And then 9% do not have opinion. But we share this data from the 3 months before, April, now confidence in the police was 64%. Eswati.
Eswati.
To 58%. So you can see that this is a gradual erosion of people's confidence in the police. So the police must be up and doing when it comes to election matters.
Because there's a breaking news there. One top police officer, COP Christian Tete Yehono, has just been appointed as the director of operations. I don't know if this will have some significant
Normally, we don't speculate. We go to the field and talk to people. So if we store in our numbers, we don't talk about those issues. But what happened is that between April and July, that's when the EC did voter registration exercise. And there were police issues, and then so that we have affected the confidence in the police because of the way they acted. And then we also asked them about their confidence in the EC.
Electoral Commission.
As a body.
Wow.
Do they have confidence in the EC? Ocean numbers, no. April, 59% confidence. After Swati, about 5.3. So they've also lost about 6% in their confidence level among voters. And Omani confidence in Akosuru from 32% to 38%. So they must do something, at least, to make sure that they can win the confidence of the people.
The Electoral Commission.
Yes, it's on a decline. We hope it doesn't go below where it is currently. Now, then Ibisa Musek, or we ask them, what are your top 3 issues that you will take into account before you vote in the elections? What will be the burning issues for you?
Absolutely.
number one economy. 73% of the issues I'm for mentioning as number one economy. And followed by jobs. 69% jobs. Education 50%. Roads 27%. Healthcare 24%. Taxes around 19%. Corruption 17%. Petrol prices around 13%. So these are the top issues are among for arguments there.
To vote. They are top here near the economy.
Yes.
I see economy in here. Wow.
And then we asked them about the campaign slogans.
Okay.
And we've been tracking that since I think October or so. Slogan being a catchy watch.
Yeah, MPP, NDC,
the 24-hour economy and digitalization.
Okay.
And a great transformational plan. We asked them which of the following slogans has caught your eye and that may influence you in whom you vote for, basically.
That's right. So how many of them we have there?
Those who said 24-hour economy, 42%.
42% believes that the 24-hour economy resonates with their lineup
and may influence them. But also in the April month, now 48%. So it's Swati by 6% between April and July. So something went wrong there.
Exactly. So the NDC need to do more on that.
When you come to digitalization, it was 29% in April. Now it's 35%. It's gone up.
It's gone up.
Yes.
So Baumia has increased its margin there.
Something there, yes.
And then digitalization is shooting up. Correct.
Yes. And then when you look at Alan plan, from 6% it's now 7%.
Alan's GTP. GTP, no.
Yes.
Okay, great transformational. Oh, very interesting.
And then we came to the question of if the elections were held today, who would you vote for?
Folks, yeah, the move review. Mr. Muntie is a year, papa. All right.
Now, we are what we call the unweighted numbers, much earlier than what they are showing on the screen. They should go back. Now, all the people we spoke to, 43.4 say they intend to vote for John Mahama. Not here. There is 43.4%. We call this one unweighted.
Okay.
Any raw data.
Okay. A raw data,
yes.
Correct. Okay.
35.7 say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. 4.4 say Alan Kyerematen. And then 4.1 say Nana Kwambediaku. 1.1 say other candidates. And
I see.
And then you have 4.2 say undecided. Not many people are very small.
Take your time. Give us this breakdown again.
Okay, we call it unweighted. Okay. So we have this number here. So about 43.4 said they intend to vote for Mahama if the lists were held today. When we spoke to them. And 35.7 says they intend to vote for Dr. Baumia if the lists were held at the time we spoke to them. And 4.4 said they would vote for Alan Kyerematen.
Wow.
And then 4.1 said Nana Kwambediaku. 1.1% said
Nana Bediaku had 4.1.
Yes.
I see.
And others were having 1.1. But 4.2 were saying said they were undecided. And 5% said Abanomon to cry. They won't vote. And then about 2.1 say Omon can't train their intention who they want to vote for. But so we Omama say Omon to about a free move with Omama say Omon can't train free move. Then the numbers changes. Then you have Mahama on 48.6% weighted. Baumia,
so Mahama scored 43%.
In the first raw one. But when you realign the numbers, it goes 48.6%.
Really?
Yes.
48.6%. Very significant.
Baumia 36.6%. Alan 4.8%. Bediaku 4.5%. Others no more 0.8%. And then 4.8 say Abano Omonto. I mean they are undecided. So we check the current picture now.
Wow.
Those people,
and that's what we have on the screen, folks. 48.6% John Mahama, 36.6% Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia, 4.8% Alan Kyerematen, 4.5% Sheda, and then 0.8% others. Wow. But then look at this figure, say undecided 4.8%.
Yeah.
Possibility that one would, I mean, it has to be spread depending on how they play their game, and they can spread. Is it possible, Isa?
No, what normally happens is that when they decide, they will decide exactly the same way as the race. The person who is leading will get most of the undecided.
Yeah.
Followed by the person who is being. That's how it works. The only time you see the challenger getting most of the undecided is when the leader mess up his campaign.
See.
Or there's a scandal around him.
I see.
That people have never known of that fact. But so long as the race remains stable and they are campaigning, the polls suggest that the people who are undecided will break away the same way as the main race. So it will not change. In fact, if you look at what we have now, 4.8, if Mahama gets just 2 from there, he is 50% plus.
Exactly, because 48.6. It's almost closer.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
So we call that the likely voters.
That's right.
Now, we have what we call...
Isa, wait a minute. I want to get some clarity to that of the percentage margin between Allen and Nana Kwame.
Yes.
4.8 to that of 4.5.
Yeah, it's quite
What
significant.
is the magic formula that this young man is putting on the table per your assessment on the ground that he's able to match up to this percentage margin?
I think he's
Quite
getting the ears of the young voters. The people around below 35 years of age. They're the ones who are really, they are his coalition of voters. And then secondly, they are also coming from areas that are typically MPP stronghold.
Really?
Nana Kwame is doing pretty well in Ashanti region. He's doing well in Eastern region. He's doing well recently in Central region. So these are the 3 regions that are giving him the numbers that you are seeing. And especially in the Ashanti and Eastern region, these are typically votes that should have gone to MPP. And they are now going to Nana Kwame.
Yes. So does it look like, say, Alan and Nana Bediakun may perhaps share the MPP vote set off?
No, they are sharing the MPP's vote.
Oh, really sharing them?
Yes.
Then MPP is in trouble, may I say?
I think that's the reason why Baumia is not able to cross 40%. Because of the presence of these 2 people in the race. So if you come to what we call the committed weighted average poll, then Mahama goes to 51.1%.
Wow.
And then Baumia goes to 38.2%.
So now, John Mahama will cross to 51.1%. Oh. Folks, do we have that one there quickly?
So
Let's see that on the screen.
If the elections are held today and we all walk to the poll to vote, this will be the result.
This will be the results. Folks, can we get that one quickly? That's in the month of July, Kase. If elections are held at Fitianapa Besi Bria Kase, not just John Mahama of the National Democratic Congress would win the 2024 elections according to
the poll.
Global Info Analytics poll. Wow.
It's 51.1%. Baumia 38.2%. Alan 5.3, Nana Kwame 4.6.
Great.
And others 0.8.
Good. Give us this. Try to marry this last figures to that of the one that we just gone past, and let's understand.
Because when you go to vote, nobody will go to the ballot paper and say I'm undecided.
Okay. At that time they will decide.
So this is how it will look like when they decide and go to the polls.
Wow. That's quite interesting, isn't it?
That's how it works. So those who are not, I'm undecided, they would decide when they get there.
Really?
Now, in between April and July, there were changes.
Yeah.
The Tababin was doing his campaign, launched his campaign, was going around. So there was some effect in what he was doing on the ground or in the polling numbers. So Osha, Mahama was on 54.3 in April. But now he dropped to 51.1%.
Repeat that again.
Mahama was on 54.3% in April. In July,
just April.
Yes. He dropped 3.2%.
Why?
Oh no, we'll come there. And then Baumia was 34.9%. Then he goes to 38.2%. It's up 3.3%. And then Alan was on 7.5%. He dropped to 5.3%, a decline of 2.2%. And now Kwambediakun was 2.3%. He goes up 4.6, double his numbers.
Where?
Between April and July, up 2.3%. And then the other candidates, they were 1%. They are now 0.8, less than 1%. Now, what happened in between the numbers? Why did Mahama go down? Alan also went down, and Bediako went up. Where did the numbers come from? Where did they go? We share from party affiliation. Omwana John Mahama. Those who were voting for John Mahama, but were NDC. They were 96% in April. But in July, that number dropped by 1% to 95%. So NDC
96 now 95.
95. So NDC voting Mahama is now 95, down 1%.
Yeah. What could be the reason?
Well, there are people who are NDC that will vote for Bawumia.
Okay.
Or vote for Alan or Kwambediako.
Depending on what they are hearing.
Yes.
What they are reading.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then there were 9% of people who were MPP that are voting for Mahama in April. That number has now dropped to 8%. So 1% drop among MPP people who were voting for Mahama.
I see.
And then among the floating voters, Mahama was on 59% in April.
Okay.
Now on 55%, a drop of 4%.
Drop of 4%. Of the floating voters.
Floating voters. And among those who support smaller parties, he was getting 15% support. Now he's 8%, but they are very small number. But crucially, Mahama was doing 55% among them.
The undisclosed for now. Mahama was making some significant numbers there.
That number. But in July, that number has declined to 41%, a drop of 9%. Now, if you look at Bawumia's numbers, those who said NDC for are almost tomorrow, it has moved from 2% to 3%. So they moved from Mahama to Bawumia. That's 1% of
1% of that.
Oh. And MP before Omotuma Bawumia, it was 80% in April. It's now 88%, an increase of 5%. We'll see later on where this 5% came from.
I see.
And he also gained 3% among floating voters. And among those who did not disclose the party affiliation, he gained 3%. So he was some small gains across.
Yeah.
But mostly, hugely, the gain he made came from within MPP. Now, Ocean numbers, it was Alan numbers that went to Bawumia largely.
Alan's numbers?
Yes. Because among those who support Alan, in April, 1% were NDC, and still 1%, so there's no change there.
Okay.
But those who said they were MPP and they were backing Alan, they were 7% in April, now 2%. So he has declined by 5%. It was that 5% that went to Bawumia.
Okay. There's a shift there.
Yes, and then among the floating voters, he lost 2% among floating voters. And then among disclosed, just 1%. Now, when it comes to Nana Kwambediako, the NDC voting for him has moved from 0% to 1%.
It's gaining some numbers there.
1%. And largely, this number came from voter regime.
Wow. From their base.
From their base.
Hey.
And then among MPP, he was 1% before. He's now on 2%.
He's making some giant steps there.
If you make 2% in MPP, that's a big number.
That's a big number. Very.
It's not like you're making 2% of small parties. 2% of a big base.
Yeah.
And then among floating voters, he was doing 6% before. He's now doing 9%. Up 3%. So, and the floating are quite big numbers. So when you gain 3% among the floating voters, it's quite meaningful. And then crucially, among those who support the smaller parties, PNC, PPP, before or during the April poll, he was supported by 18%.
Yeah.
He has now moved to 30% among those smaller party supporters. So about 19% plus. And then among those who said they won't disclose the party affiliation, Muhammad lost about 9%. They all went to the Nana Kwambediako.
Hey.
So Muhammad's loss largely went to Nana Kwambediako, and small amount went to Bawumia. So this is the genesis of
then
the
Nana
movement.
Kwame is really making some
No,
giant
I think
steps out
if they joke with him, I think he'll surprise.
Put some surprises.
Yes.
Wow. Now, Isa, so what other things, Musa, what other things we need to know from these polls, other significant margins and all of that, before then I put some other questions?
Right. We wanted to see if this race will go a runoff or a one-touch.
Yeah, I was about to ask that are we going to, is it likely that we may head to that of too close to call situation?
At the moment, the poll numbers are saying no.
The poll numbers are saying no?
Yes, because even in the runoff scenario, when we ask them, okay, just assume that there was no clear winner, and we want to go for a runoff, who would you vote for? Mahama goes to 5-2.
5-2?
52% in the runoff scenario. Bawumia goes to 42%. And then 6% said they were undecided. So even if you give all the 6% to Bawumia, it won't make him a winner.
Still, he can't.
That is why magic. This is the reason why we are saying the race is not going to go into runoff, because of this data.
But then, can we say this is the month of July?
Yes.
Now you are yet to hit back on the street.
We are here. We can't speak of tomorrow.
That's right.
But the question we asked was, who would you vote for if the elections were held
That's
today?
right. Trying to figure the future then.
When we get to April, October, November, we can make predictions. We can see how the numbers would look like.
That's
and
right.
whether there will be any movement within the numbers between then and the election day.
Great. Now, you also said something about Mahama drops in April.
Yes, overall we saw that he was 54%. Now 51%. He has dropped 3% compared to April.
Do we know the assigned reasons to this?
No, but Bawumia was doing his campaign. So once you are doing your campaign, you must see some bump in the polling numbers after going round. If you are going round and you don't see any bump in numbers, it means something is wrong. So it's not unusual that you get a bump in numbers. But what people must look at is where the gains or the losses came from. If you look at Alan numbers, Alan and Bawumia are kind of trading supporters. Alan people are from MPP.
Yes.
So if Alan improves in the poll numbers, he could hurt Bawumia again.
You could hurt him?
Yes.
Wow.
And if Bawumia improves, unless Bawumia's improvement comes from NDC or floating voters, that is what he needs to do.
Charlie, this election, it's quite, it's a die-hard thing.
The problem for MPP is that they are not united.
Oh, the unity front is broken.
It's not there, because some of them are voting for Mahama, some are voting for Nana Kwame, some are voting for Alan, some are voting for
a complete
Mahama.
split.
Exactly. So when you come to NDC, about 95% of their supporters are voting for John Mahama. 95%. So the remaining 5% are scattered here and there. Whereas in MPP is 88%. So about 12% have gone somewhere else.
Dropped out of it.
Exactly. So and also among the floating voters, MPP is not doing well right now among floating voters. That's where their biggest problem, beside their base, lies.
Now, Musa, there's this I picked up. I don't know what you make of it, and try to make a sense of it. With regions like Greater Accra, I think Central Region and Western Region, looks quite bright in the corridors of John Mahama. Why your polls is picking this very and I don't know if I may say that these regions are sort of, I don't know, should I say they're swing regions?
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Let's look at the critical regions that, in my view, that will play a crucial role.
Very crucial role. Okay.
Accra would, I think, in my view, would determine the winner of the elections.
Accra?
With Accra, yes.
Why do you say this?
Well, the numbers here are quite big. There are about nearly 4.5 million voters in Greater Accra. And also look at Central Region, being a normal swing region.
That's right.
You can't really bet on Central Region where it will go. But at the moment, the poll favors John Mahama in Central Region.
In Central Region.
Favors him. If you look at the Ashanti Region right now, in July poll, MPP is on 66% in Ashanti Region.
Wow.
That's not where they have to be. Mahama is on
66% as of
July poll.
July poll.
Yes.
But you think that they have to go higher than this?
They should be doing higher than this.
Okay.
Mahama is on 22%. Alan is on 8%. Kwame Bediakun is on 4%. So between Kwame Bediakun and Alan, They are doing
Charlie,
4%.
shut up. Oh, yeah, magical.
So those two numbers in Ashanti region is going to be.
So, how is John Mahama doing in Greater Accra?
Now, if you come to Greater Accra for John Mahama, the numbers are, in fact, it's now on 64%.
In Greater Accra?
He's dropped from 73% in April to 64%. Baumia moved from 21 to 31%.
Oh, then Baumia is doing well in Greater Accra?
He has recovered. No, about 31 in Greater Accra is not a good number. Yeah, Accra doesn't look pretty good, no.
Really?
No.
But between him and John Mahama, I think he has outscored John Mahama.
Mahama is 64%.
Oh, 64 in Accra.
Yes, and he's 31%.
The margin is
and
quite
if you
big.
look at
and in Central Region?
Central Region, Mahama is 39%.
Baumia
30%. Alan 13%. Bediako 13%.
Hey! Then what about Western Region?
Let's look at Eastern Region.
Okay, Eastern Region.
Eastern Region, Mahama is 34%. Baumia 49%. Alan 6%. Bediako 10%.
I see. So then, Alan, what do you call it? Baumia is doing quite well in Eastern Region, sort of.
No, he should have been in the region of 60%,
60%.
not 49%. So if you look at the numbers,
I see where you're going.
See if you compare what he's doing now with what Nando did, he's doing far below what Nando did. And if you look at the Western region is also pretty not good. Mahama is 5'2", 52%, and Baumia 36%. Alan is on 7%, Bediako 4%.
Hey. Bediako is pulling some magic numbers here.
Yeah, now, these are typically numbers that should have gone to MPP. Yes, so long as Nana Bediako is in the race, Alan are in the race, I mean, it's going to be tough for MPP in many of these regions.
So Nana Bediako can decide to quickly switch camp, say, I'm adding all my numbers to say either NDC or MPP, and
it doesn't work like that. You see, you must understand the behavior of your voters. In fact, if you go to the runoff, the runoff scenario, if you say there's a runoff between Mahama and Baumia, who would they vote for? You see the behavior of Alan supporters, right? If you say, okay, now it's just between Mahama and Baumia, who would they vote for? The data shows that nearly 52% of Alan supporters will vote for Mahama in runoff. So in that case, if Alan decides to go back to MPP, his followers will not necessarily follow him.
Oh.
In the case of Nana Kwame Bediako, if you see it is runoff between Mahama and Baumia, who would you vote for? About 40% of his supporters say that they vote for Mahama. 20% vote for Baumia. About 30% will say they will not vote. So they will not necessarily follow you.
Yeah.
It depends on each individual voter that support him, whether they would like to go here or there. But what you see is that for those that are typically MPP affiliate that are a bit disappointed, that have gone to Cheddar, it is much easier for them to come back. But if they are heavily disappointed, then they will not either completely not vote or vote for Mahama.
Great. They will not vote for Mahama. Folks, my guest tonight, Musa Dankwa, is Executive Director, Emma Global Info Analytics. Of course, sharing with us the very, very, very opinion poll of the month of July. And our question tonight on this poll, who makes it to the Jubilee House if elections are held today? Now, so far, what Musa had, the breakdown he's given pretty much tells that if elections are held today, the former President John Dramani Mahama will be heading towards the Jubilee House. And that's a poll. Is as of now the month of July. We may not be able to say the month of August and the rest, barely 5 months more left to go to the polls. But then we can quickly give very much of our projections there. Per this poll, John Mahama would make it to election 2024 if we are holding elections anytime this very month. Now, my member Kinkai messages me. Then I have another question for Musa to deal with us with respect to that of running mates tonight. We can all say without any shred of uncertainty, we have all the running mates set for this very major political contenders, MPP, NDC, ready to do battle. Now, what is it that these running mates are bringing on the table, given the circumstances and the situations? Now, with NDC, we have Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, of course, out there doing some great exploit. Then we have just gone past not too long ago, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe out there running his mouth. And what all this running his mouth perhaps brings on the table, adding up to the numbers and all of that. Folks, stay tuned. Befi R. Adomakosi, Chief Alan Kyerematen is the best choice for Jubilee House. Georgina greeting Osekweku. I greet you. I wish you blessed and successful. Great job. Keep it up. And then Osei Kwame Osei, good evening, Senior Brakweku. And Mama Georgina Bafo. All right, we say Alan Kyerematen, okay, fixing the country TV. I say Alan Kyerematen would win to the surprise of the nation. And Kroma Reborn, I say, from what I gather from the voting intentions, Ghanaians are still voting on tribal lines. Isa, keep some of them there and see if it reflects on your lines. Then, me, Amma Johnson, I say, I'm even surprised Baumia is getting 38.2%. And then I said, I don't know, but I'm sure maybe Isa may have some AB on it. Let me read the message. I say, Mr. Musa has even given them something. This useless MPP party will not even get more than 25%. Napo and Napoleon to no, I don't like that strong word and I can use it. Okay, wait, so I say, hello, Msanan, I am not convinced by these voting intentions poll. The numbers seem skewed and don't reflect the sentiment I am hearing from friends, family, and community members. Would love to see a more comprehensive breakdown and expert analysis. Keep exploring the issue. I am happy the elections will not be held today. Eko Thomas watching from Tema Community 4. Hey, are you doubting what they are saying here? Well, so Kweku, please ask him if Mahama start campaign. If Mahama start campaign, is it going to change the scenario? I don't know what that question means, but I try to see if you can make some sense out of it. Good evening, sir. I am a floating voter, and I think we surely decide after October. I'm Daniel from Abofu at Chimota. Oh, Dan. Okay, good one there. Say, good evening, Kweku. I am Auntie Christy from Teshi. I wish this poll's discussion shouldn't have been discussed because this would make the NPP take a secret decision to rig the elections. No, not at all. I'm sorry. And Masa, we know, yes, yeah, discuss it. Now, Maubier, their echo, and that's how it's supposed to be. You think you can keep some things out of their reign? No. Well, so good evening, my good brother. Thank you for the good work. Keep up. God richly bless you. Also, what Ghanaians want MPP should just go home. GTP all the way. Alan Kyerematen all the way from Yahaya Kota and Ode Ebae. Brakweku, I say my analysis in January 2024 give JDM 51.7% to win the presidential election. That's your poll. Where's Osikweku? You are too much. If we have had 4 people of your type in addition to you, the country called Ghana would have seen its change better long time ago. Tony from Pokwasi Nodebai. Great. There are a lot of guys out there. Well, I say, hello, boss. My name is Chris from Pokwasi. These politicians think we are dummies and weak. We don't have what it takes to fight for our rights. TikTok. Time counts down. Or say, times counts down and they pass us away. When they would wake up at the wrong side of their bed, good evening. All right, I'm sure this sounds like some kind of a warning for the politicians to set up. You are a great man. You have lion heart. People like you, I admire. You are fearless. We are supporting you and praying for you guidance. The people are thieves, crude people, drunkards. No weapon formed against you won't prosper. Jerubal Gideon. The rest mean to me more. I don't believe what opinion poll man is saying. Gideon Osu. Really. I'm sure. The reason why some of the people don't like it is it's not tilting towards the and go the be anointing. Good evening, Kweku. You see how angry you are today? If I say this, our so-called leaders, majority of them are the F word you want to use. You said my words, my words are harsh. Yes, indeed. From Amasaman to a place called Kyerematen. The road, I wonder how the people managed to get to their various homes. Oh, Ghana, arise, Ghana youth. From Mary, Myra, my sweetheart Mary, take it easy with me, all right? Let's see how things go, okay? And I'm sure, sir, God will work it out in a coming hour. Say, please, I'm watching from Kaswa. Keep firing them, more fire. Well done. And on so or the abbey. Or say, I feel the heat, boss. Keep the fire burning. They are taking us for granted. Too much. Good evening, Kweku. And please, I am Ernest Kwanzaa from Dansuma. These our leaders are children of Judas and naturally born bad. No, they are twasso. I say, I like your insult. They are not wicked. They are the F word. The rest is it. I say, hi, Kweku. Kudos for dedicating service to God and country. You are 1 in a million, tried and tested, and a patriotic citizen. But please try and mentor the young generation, and your legacy would continue to remain supreme. Don't forget the prayer tower is not intact. We hope to meet you one day. From Ko Wabing and Ode Ebae. Kwekwan and also Okasa fa nyansa bibi hon. The rest of the tree, I'm sure I'm not getting it right. All right. Well, say good evening, Kweku. Hope you are doing very good. My name is John. I'm impressed with your course of enlightening Ghanaians and exposing the corrupt political elites. Keep up the good work. Where was it? What Kenya? Was it? Wow, Kenya, this serious. Okay, you want to say something? I say the truth is hard, so let it climb harder. For the effort of goodness is always within the brave to make it truly. That's a quite thoughtful, quite philosophical way. So I say, why has the government appointed new deputy IGP in charge of operations when we have about 4 months to elections? This is never done anywhere. It is a ploy to break the aids at all costs, as they see public dissatisfaction and the growing support for the change of this cruel government. But this will not yield its intent result. Power is changing hands. Great work done, team frontline. I am Chukwa from Latebia Kwashi Ablekuma. A free buyer. Well, I say hi, CTV. This is Emmanuel from Akache. I want to use this opportunity to tell everybody to be careful with friends who still defend NPP. They can kill you. Well, I don't know what you're saying. That's how it is. Well, see, if Ghanaians don't rise up and overthrow this diabolical system, we would invite outside force to help us. I'm sorry, we don't need it now. Hey, another set of my main kind quickly. Namusamra. I say votes for NPP. It's votes for Kenyan Confucian War. I don't know. Brakweku. Good evening. I say I hope you and your crew are doing well. Due to the behavior of Napo, I've changed my mind to vote for JDM. Even I have promised myself for that. From Kenya, Accra, Wager Block Factory, Nudifree, Ebae. Hello, I am Peter from Spinters. I'm even surprised Baumia is getting people to vote for him. Are those people not Ghanaians to feel this hardship? Good work. We all know that Baumia won't win, but they are pushing him. Okay, it looks as though we are even casting the vote here tonight too. Thank you, Mr. Annan, for your fearless and informative reporting on extrajudicial killings involving foreign nationals. Your show's commitment to exposing the truth and advocating for accountability is crucial in ensuring justice and human rights. I'm worried about the NPP government's alleged involvement and appreciate your effort. Keep the public informed. Keep up the outstanding work. Eko Thomas from Community 4, Enode Ebae. Kweku, we pray. Also, we pray this score line goes the same or even more for JDM on election day. Obed from Udumase and Odbai. If Mahama start campaigning today, it is going to widen gap between Mahama and Baumia. I am saying this because Mahama hasn't started his campaign. All right. Isa, let's look at the running mates issue now. Now, these major political contenders have their running mates set to do better. In your opinion, any reflection that this can have on changing the numbers for both political parties? Well, Sheda, only in a running mate yet. Nana Bediakon hasn't done that yet. I don't know how that means, but what do you make of it?
The question of running mate a bit muted for me. My belief is this election will not be about running mate. It's going to be about the candidate themselves, the flag bearers. But the running mate may add some energy or but it will not fundamentally alter the course of the race. No.
Neither it would shut their winning going to glory.
No. If you are ahead, you are ahead. If you are behind, your running mate will not change it for you to become a leader in the race. No.
You think so?
No.
So let's zero down to that of what Professor Nana Jinopokwa is out there doing. Would it by way enhance John Mahama's going for glory in a way of say the appearance, talking to the people again to help change their mind, change the course sign?
You know, when it comes to political campaign, the cardinal rule is that you must pick the issues or speak about the issues that concern voters. When you engage them, you must make sure that you are speaking their language. You are speaking what they are thinking. And most often, I think we go not knowing what the issues are in certain areas. You see, there are national issues and there are constituency-specific issues. Most often, they don't know what the population or what the popular voters in that constituency are thinking. So you see them taking issues that are national in character, but the honor is not what
issues with national character.
Let me tell you, for example, in Central Region, most likely, job is priority for voters than the economy in Central Region.
Really?
Yes.
Because then it's a yes, of course, and Central Region appears to be one of the poorest region
young voters.
Ever. Yeah.
So the job is the first thing they want. Over Accra is the economy before jobs. Other places, in fact, you can see some other places, sanitation and water before economy. So you must know what
every region and their priority.
Yes, and their priorities. So don't just carry one message and run it through. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. And sometimes I think you sit back because you have seen the data and you see what these people are running around doing. It makes you laugh.
I see.
So about time, you can't connect to the people whom you are trying to engage.
Now, make a sense of, I don't know what it will definitely refer. However, Napo is said to have run this explosive comments, and he has received the avalanche of condemnation across from civil society groups and all of that. What's with this explosive comments make on his running on his candidate?
The day after announcement, the least you want to have is controversy. Every poster will tell you.
And it's one of a huge controversy out there. Refusing to go.
You see, you want the news out there to be positive, to be something that really portrays what you are bringing about. But he's allowed anything positive to be buried by one loose comment that he made. He initially justified it. People justified it. But in the end, they have to come and apologize. This will have the ramification on the polling numbers. And we can't say it's going to be this or that. But when we go back, we'll see the effect of his candidature. What we can say was that in the case of Jinan Opoku, it did not ruffle feathers. There was no controversy. So the kind of the people were expecting that announcement.
She was in a smooth sail to her destination.
So we said that, look, there was nothing that caused anything in the polling numbers. So the polling numbers were stable. But I believe, and it's my theory, that Napo's action would hurt MPP in the coming months.
It will hurt the MPP's chances in the coming months.
Yes.
Wow.
Because look, even if you look at the way he's perceived, in the Ashanti region, even though he's supported by 75% of people say, they like his nomination, but when we did the poll recently after the nomination, only 73 were voting for him. In Greater Accra, he doesn't seem to appear to command
that tribe.
No, in Greater Accra.
That's other regions like
no,
central regions.
We haven't tested those yet. But what we can safely say is that what happens in Greater Accra will be true in Central region, will be true in Western region.
This is quite deep though. Now, we all say, Minia, I like you too much. You resemble Nana Akufo-Addo. I am Kwabena Asare, aka Mapo from Spinters Road. We all say, good evening. Alan is the only man for the job. I am Olivia fan. I say, if Mahama start campaign today, it is going to widen gap between Mahama and Bawumia. I am saying this on Osunedia or the ban. God, my mention way quickly enough and wrap it up. I say, good evening. Those security officers should know that Ghanaians are overwhelmed, including Nigeria. They should stop that private behavior, else there's going to be a retaliation. I don't know who is talking though. Also, we need help in this country. Ghana, God help us. And he or she is tearing up. My dear brother, you are good. You are good. Send, stay blessed. The name is Aluta in Kaswa Atade. I don't know what Aluta means in an echo. Now, Musa, let's look at this. Okay, where's Jose? After stealing all these properties and lands in the country, they still expect us to vote for them. This MPP armed robbers think we are fool. Hey, these people know they respect Ghanaians. Good evening, boss. Jose, God richly bless you for the good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. Ghanaians, please, let's all plead on behalf of Mawaku. The over 1 million Ghana cedis damaged by the courts in this country, economic hardship, would only collapse the company, and as a result, up to the increasing unemployment situation in Ghana. This is a Ghanaian-owned business. To the judiciary temper justice with mercy and don't contribute to the collapse of all Ghanaians' own business in the country. I tend to agree with you. Say, woman temper with justice and mercy. Say, bibi ankosu yana omufanchene. Now, Musa, yeah, wrap it up. Okay, let me also come on when so super highways near other messages about. We all say Nana Jonas' mom or say Napo has been quiet for the last 2 days. Nana Ekuya or say I think both NPP and NDC are losing to Nana Bediakum. And Kroma Raybon or say what I don't understand is why Ghanaians are not yearning to break the is it duopoly. After all these broken hearts, you still go back to be abused by NPP, NDC. Why? Ghanaians? Daniel Ade also good job, Kweku. And all of these messages coming thick and fast. Folks, yeah, Musa. And of course, we are also making all the concerted efforts. We're going to work with the Global Info Analytic events and organization we coming months, and most of the polls are we are going to share with Musa and any team, to bring all this much closer to Ghanaians to appreciate the developments and what is happening. Now, Musa, what is it? When is going to be when are you guys hitting back?
We are doing some special polls in Bono, starting tomorrow.
Bono region?
Yes, certain constituencies.
I see.
We're also doing certain constituencies in the northern region. We would go back to Ashanti region early August.
Okay.
To test the Napo effect in the Ashanti region.
The Napo factor.
The Napo factor. And then we are looking to do this national tracking poll again in October.
In October?
Yes.
So October is going to be the national one?
National one, October. And then we are looking to do that last one in November as well.
In November?
So there will be 2 polls before the elections.
Wow. 2 polls nationwide?
Nationwide, yes.
And that one, you can look into my camera and say, this political party is going to... My goodness.
When we finish the October-November poll, we can tell you
who is winning.
Who's winning, yes.
Folks, this is going to be like a major breaking news stories, Yes, of course. Musa, that's part of but we'll gauge the space, what they are doing Bono regions, specific constituencies, correct?
Yes, we're doing Sunyani West, Sunyani East, Brekum West, and Brekum East.
Great. Can you share with us Your reasons behind the special poll?
There are certain regions that they look a bit
lukewarm.
Yeah, so we want to really test and see what is happening there, so that we can have a better understanding of the region.
I love Isa and the way Musa and the way he does his job. However, many people don't like him, but you know, the chemistry behind the work is what is most essential. You see, you must be able to see the chemistry behind, and no, because post Musa edi hun komunia baku kure no failure. And that's a good reason why he's here tonight. Yeah, Musa, go ahead.
And then Northern region, for a particular reason, because of Baumia's factor in Northern region. And we are Tolong, Myong, Karaga.
Tolong, Myong, Karaga,
Bushegu, and Zabzugu.
Wow. This is a basil.
Yeah, we want to see
what's happening there.
Yes.
Oh.
Because we see, we'll not be able to go everywhere.
Yeah.
But we want you to understand certain consequences, and that will give us an understanding of what is happening throughout the region, if we understand from these areas.
Yeah. And that's quite a chemistry, you know. And all these special constituencies now, Musa Moye Jmohono, Yani Isabel touchy base on it. Then we update our listeners and viewers why these constituencies are behaving the manner in which they are. And again, this would also give us more reflection over how the election 2024 is going to be, whether or not the governing new patriotic parties cliche in the 8th mantra will definitely manifest, or otherwise it still may remain cliche at the back door of the corridors of the NPP. Folks, my guest has been Musa Dankwa, of course, Executive Director of Global Info Analytics. Na yɛhwɛ space no come no yɛbɛtumi ehu nneɛma bebree na yɛde ato hɔ no we also John K. Hey, my John K. I say no prophecies this year. Where are the prophets? John King, you see why I love you so much. Yes. Talk like that for me. Prophets will be out to him. Yes. Okay, my main can't wait. Good evening, sir. Napo guy should know his level, and if don't know how to talk, he should go learn. How dare he big nose head with small brain compare his armed robber of a president of legendary Kwame Nkrumah and all of that. Okay, Musa, do you have your last word for Ghanaians, your viewers?
No, I think what that they should have faith and trust in us.
Good.
We're not working for any other party or any party for that matter.
Yeah.
We are working for Ghanaians, for our democracy, and also for ourselves as a company.
Yeah.
When we do well in the projections, it enhances our brand and our image globally.
Exactly.
So that's what we are aiming at, not to appease NDC or appease MPP. I mean, they should have faith in us.
Good one. Have faith in them, said by who? The director, executive director, Global Info. Of course, they are a worldwide organization, all over, cast back in London, and of course, so far, may I say I stand to be corrected, but I think they remain the only pollster in town. We used to have